Welcome to our explainer video on how to make active learning work in your classroom. In just 10 minutes, we're going to learn a framework by Frey and Fisher called the Gradual Release of Responsibility. And we're going to be linking all the details to them in the description below. In this session, we're going to start off with why engagement matters so much. You see, passive learning often means that students forget quickly. At best, it can mean that they are compliant. But with active learning, students think more deeply, they take more ownership, and they build confidence and skills. The research is clear. Frey, Fisher, and John Hattie's work all show that active learning delivers a strong impact on learning outcomes. So, the framework has four phases. I do, teach modeling. We do, guided practice. You do, collaborative learning. And you do alone, independent practice. You don't always have to fit all four of these stages in one lesson, and often they gradually stretch across a sequence of lessons. But the goal is the same: gradually move forward with releasing responsibility from teacher to student. So, I do focuses on the teacher modelling, explaining, and setting the clear success criteria. For example, as a teacher, I might think aloud. As I write an introduction to a paragraph, I may share my thought process with the students. Active learning here means students aren't just watching, they're asking questions, making predictions, noticing the process that the teacher is going through. Then we move forward into the we do phase, which is guided instruction. Here, you, the teacher, and the class share the task together. You provide scaffolds for them, prompts, and you check their understanding as you move along. So, for instance, you may solve two problems together or co create a mind map. This stage ensures students are ready to move forward. As we move forward into the you do together, this is when students may work in pairs or groups while you, the teacher, step back, still giving guidance and support. But the key here is structure. You've got to give clear roles, time limits, and accountability for what product they're going to achieve. Something to show for the work is very important so the students know what they're going to give you. An example of this can include group analysis or giving each other peer feedback. Finally, we're at the you do it alone. Here, students apply their learning independently from you. You, as the teacher, have got to resist the urge to overhelp and instead use quick formative checks with them. An example of this might be a solo task, an exit ticket, or a reflection activity. This is where true ownership happens. Now, do you always have to use all four phases? Well, no, not necessarily. Sometimes you can cycle through all four phases in a short activity, and sometimes you can spread them across lessons, for example, in a project. The key here is to be intentional with your release and only release when the students are ready. So let's have a look at the importance of routines and expectations. You see, active learning works best with predictable routines. You've got to set expectations for what active learning looks like. Explain to them what noise levels there should be, what the roles are in collaborative learning activities, what the time frames are for each section of the activity, and ultimately, what is each section of the activity. You've got to make it clear that both effort and achievement matter. You've got to recognize achievement and skill development. Being consistent with your routines and expectations builds trust, and students will ultimately know what to expect from you. So, when it comes down to building trust and respect, which is absolutely critical, students will only engage with you when they feel safe, they feel respected, and they feel they can trust you. So show them that making mistakes are a part of the learning process. Acknowledge their effort, not just their outcomes. And most importantly, step back. Give them space, but don't just abandon them. Give them support, give them guidance, and make sure they've got the tools they need. This is how you grow trust. So, active learning is ultimately about good organization and planning. You can't just wing it. Success comes from you as a teacher being ready and prepared. Have your materials and resources in place. Make your timings clear. Keep your I do short and structure group work carefully. Think through scaffolds, fade into gradual release. Remember, the less that you're improvising, the more ownership students can take and the more confidence they're going to have. So, the practical things that you need to realize is that there will be mistakes. And those mistakes can be things like skipping the we do, which leads to confusion, calling group work active learning when it's not, over helping in the you do alone phase. And the better approach is to check readiness before you release. Give structure and clear outcomes. If group work is happening, make sure everybody is actively engaged through clear roles, timelines, and instructions. And ultimately, step back. Let them struggle productively, giving guidance and support when needed. So, finally, let's think about tomorrow or your next lesson. Just pick one lesson and map the phases of the gradual release throughout that lesson. Establish one clear routine in regards to active learning and gradual release of responsibility. This might be a transition, it could be role allocation, or it could be timing. But most importantly, step back with intention so students can step up. So, why does the gradual release of responsibility work? Where's the evidence? Well, Frey and Fisher, and as I've said, we've dropped the link to their book in the description, have said that it improves outcomes across subjects. Hattie also highlighted that the active learning element, has a huge impact on outcomes, and students move from the compliance phase to the engagement phase when you release the responsibility to them when it's appropriate. So, tomorrow we want you to try structuring one lesson using the gradual release of responsibility framework by Frey and Fisher. We also invite you to dive deeper into Frey and Fisher's gradual release of responsibility and learn more. This has just been a light touch overview to get you interested. But what we want you to ultimately do is release that responsibility when students are ready to step up. Give guidance, give support, and know when it's time for you to step back. Feel free to subscribe to our channel and join our community of educators, and give this video the thumbs up if you've enjoyed it. We look forward to hearing from you in the comment section and seeing you in our next explainer video.